What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today I'm taking a look at the premium B-25J-30, a free Russian aircraft that was given away this past weekend. All you had to do was complete a couple of challenges, kill some ground targets. There was a lot of ground targets, don't get me wrong, but all you had to do was kill some ground targets, and you got this thing for free. Normally, I believe the price is like 13 or 1400 Golden Eagles. I used to think that the price was kind of high, you know, for a premium bomber. But having played it twice, this game and plus the one other that I'll show you right after this, I enjoy this thing. It's a really good little ground attacker. One of the things you'll first notice when flying the B-25 in realistic battles is it's quite maneuverable compared to some of the other bombers in the game. I was actually quite surprised by how agile this thing was. Of course, at speeds, its maneuverability is lacking, because the controls tend to stiffen up a little bit. Its turning at normal speeds isn't too bad. We're getting a little server connection issue here. Now, the first match, we are on Korea. My initial plan was to swing out right just slightly and turn left and hit that bridge. But as it turns out, that Peshka right in front of me has the same idea, so I'm gonna have to alter my plan here once I notice that he makes that turn. And we have an enemy P-47 coming in. A lot of P-47s flying this weekend because they're going for not only ground kills, but anyone else who's going for ground kills. So they're flying low. Flying low is not a terrible idea, but you have to maintain your speed if you're going to be in that P-47. You're going to have to do some escaping, some diving people. We got a little light tank up here. Now, the B-25J-30 has 3 500 kilogram bombs, which is more than enough for taking out a little tank like that. Light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, it doesn't really matter what it is. Now, yes, you will notice I am trying to actually engage this P-47. Unfortunately, he does have a little more speed than I do. One of the strengths of the P-47 is its speed and that monster engine that it has installed. The P-47 has been on the trail of that bomber, and he has gotten his engine smoked. That's not the least of his concerns. He's got a Yak 9K on his ass, and he's dead. So with that guy get dealt with, we have to turn around and find some more targets. Unfortunately, we got a whole bunch of enemy fighters coming in. A B-25 as well off to the right. Notice there were a lot of British in this match. More British than American, I believe. In addition to 3 500 kilogram bombs, the B-25 comes with 6 50 caliber machine guns on the nose and 5 turrets, making this a very heavily armed aircraft. Drop the bomb on the pillbox, as it's more than enough to take care of it. Unfortunately, I just missed. Here comes another pillbox. Drop a bomb on that, blow it up. 100 RP for a little pillbox. That's easy. It's easy grinding. Not only does it give you a lot of RP, but just look at all the lions that came with the thing. I managed to attract some attention from my ROCCAT, so I maneuver my aircraft just a little bit so that I can position myself so that the gunners are right square in the middle and light his ass on fire. Pilot snipe him. Lots of little tanks. A lot of tanks on Korea. Unfortunately, I'm out of bombs. I only had 3 bombs to start with. Dropped all 3. And now we have to start to maneuver here. And you'll notice my left wing has some issues. Not only do I have a hole in it, but the left aileron is completely gone. Even though I managed to kill that Hellcat in a pretty quick order, he still managed to do quite a bit of damage there to my aircraft. And the B-25, it flies okay when it's damaged, but with that much damage to one wing, it's going to make things challenging. Now, the 50 cals are easily enough to take out a AAA, and as you can see here, you can also take out light pillboxes. It's preferable to use ground attack ammo for light pillboxes because it's mostly AP rounds, armor piercing. However, I tend to use omni-purpose rounds because sometimes I will encounter aircraft. And the API rounds, or armor-piercing incendiary rounds, that are within the omni-purpose belts, are very good at lighting aircraft on fire. The enemy team is slowly being whittled down, but so is our team. Our team does not have a whole lot of fighters to provide cover. Another yak just went down, unfortunately. You can see the large hole in my wing there. You could fit a small man in there. One piece of advice I should offer is that if you're going to go for light pillboxes with your 50 cals, you're going to want to get as close as you can to them. The closer you can get, the better chances are you'll be able to pierce through that armor that those pillboxes have. More often than not, I tend to open fire at like 400 or 500 meters, but it's probably best to shoot at maybe 300 meters instead. And you'll notice that I'm not turning left very much, and that's because of that wing. That massive hole, coupled with the lack of aileron on that wing, has made me very nervous about turning left. If I dip my left wing too low, it could end up causing me to lose too much altitude and end up putting me right into the ground. And I don't want to crash just quite yet. Sure, just as soon as I get there, something blows it up. Must have been an AI tank, probably blew it up or something. Because nobody got credit for that. Still lots of little pillboxes here to go after. Unfortunately, there aren't many fighters left. See, I didn't get a hit on that one until I got very close, and that's part of the challenge of going after light pillboxes. You'll notice we can hear some AAA firing off. Well, it's a good idea to take those out as soon as you can. They're very easy to kill with the 50 cals. You can also switch over to your rear gunner and try to shoot them with the rear gunner. You notice I tried to use that to take out the white pillbox, but it just wasn't very effective. It's best to use the rear gunner to take out lighter targets like artillery or AAA. And again, all these little soft targets, they all add up for extra RP, research points, and silver lines. They're very easy to kill, and look at the size of that hole. A couple of Typhoons off to my rear left. Let's see, this thing it's struggling. It's struggling to turn now. I call out the target to my teammates, but unfortunately none of them are around. I think we've only got one more fighter left on the team. The rest of us are in either attackers or bombers. And to make matters interesting, both of these Typhoons are of the cannon variety. Unfortunately, I'm starting to run low on ammo. I don't have any bombs left. I'm running out of teammates, so I'm going to have to do something here. Spitfire's still hanging up there. We got two Typhoons over here. I'm going to try to take out one of them if possible. Very risky because of the quad 20s at 4 Hispanos. Looks like this one's coming head on. I don't mind going head on, strangely enough, because I have API rounds in this thing. See, he's on fire. Avoid the collision. He's got a fuel tank fire. Immediately reposition myself just in case this Typhoon wants to get on me. He's there, but once he starts getting hit, he backs off. He doesn't want to get 50 killed, and I can't blame him. The Typhoon finally goes down, and I think I'm in the clear until, here we go, Spitfire decides to come down and play. I think when he saw me engage those Typhoons, he probably thought he would be able to get in and get a quick kill on me since I was preoccupied with the Typhoon. He probably thought I was distracted just enough that he could get in and get a quick pilot snipe, or maybe tear off the rest of that left wing that's just barely holding on. He's doing a pretty good job with his attacks. He's doing nice, quick slashing attacks. He's not hanging around my tail gunner very long. It's making it difficult to backgun this guy. See, starting to maneuver, but it's difficult. When you have this much damage, it's hard to maneuver this thing. And there he finishes me off, taking off my right wing. Strangely enough, it wasn't my left wing that gave me the most problems there. Well, so much for fighter cover. Unfortunately, We just didn't have any fighters left to really protect us. However, all in all, we still did okay. We got 9 ground kills, we got 2 air kills. That's a pretty good first fight with this thing. I'll take that. I ended up with 57,000 silver lions after this match was over, because it did drag on a little bit because they still had a couple of guys to kill. And now we transition to our second match. We're in Krimsk. This is alternate history. U.S. and Great Britain against Russia. And this is a really nice little area to bomb. This is right in that little port. A lot of tanks, armored cars, and what have you. Very easy targets. And to make matters very easy, we have a little bomb reticle to give us a hand. It's really frustrating to try to bomb without a bombing reticle. B-25 it's so much fun because it has that bombing reticle. I recently took out the E-20G, and because that thing doesn't have a bombing reticle, it really made for a challenging goal. Trying to kill anything with those bombs, even though they're large, it was difficult. Because we have 650 cals on the nose, taking out armored cars or AAA, all this stuff is very simple. And I almost get bombed by that guy. When you're ground attacking this little port city, you have to be patient, because it's very simple, or it's very easy to get down in this city, going after a tank and get a little too close to the ground. You want to be patient, take your time, pick out your targets, and go in. Now you notice some of the guys are confused as to why there are so many ground attackers in the game. It's because this was a ground attack weekend for a lot of people. You can get the B-25 for free. 2 tanks, 2 bombs. Got them both. Beautiful. Now you'll notice that all 3 of my bombs are gone, and we got some fighters coming in. So the question is, do I go for the fighters, or do I just stay focused on the ground targets? Unfortunately, there are just way too many guys over there for me to go after. I'm just going to stay focused on the armored cars. I can kill those. Just use your 50 cals and gun them down. Yeah, don't get too carried away. Don't get too close. You don't want to necessarily do what I'm about to do. I'm getting way down in here. I'm like in between the houses. I'm amazed I didn't crash. This is so close. I honestly expected myself to hit either one of the buildings or one of the trees. It turns out that street is just wide enough for me to get that B-25 in there and attack those armored cars. Unfortunately, those aircraft are getting a little too close for comfort. Oh, I do have 50 cals. If they get within gunner range, I can always take a couple of shots at them. But I'd rather have my teammates that are in the fighters get them. Because if the enemy fighters are within gun range, then they can always do damage to me. Remember that it was that Hellcat that did most of the damage to the B-25 in the last game. Spitfire gets a little close. I take a couple shots to get a hit on him. But he's going to have more problems than me in just a minute. One of my teammates has descended. Lowatchkin 5 is on his ass. And he's dead. And you'll notice I only put one little hit into that Spitfire, and yet I still got the kill assist. That's just more RP, more silver lions. This is one of the reasons that I love this little plane right now. It's such an easy little grinding aircraft to use. It really doesn't take long to rack up some research points in lions. With the bombs gone, I decided to head back to base. There's a little bitty base right here. And by little, it's short as hell. I honestly question whether or not I should even try this. Because bombers, their brakes aren't known to be great. And combine that with the fact that they're really heavy compared to a fighter. The idea of landing a bomber on a short runway is one that's always left me a little nervous, to be honest with you. But there's a year 2 here, and he does appear to be able to put his down. So if year 2 can land, I should be able to land this. You just have to manage the throttle. You want to have enough speed to get to the landing strip, but not so much so that you end up shooting past it. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is short this and crash it. That won't be good. There we go. Touchdown. And kill the engine just for good measure. I have to say this landing went a lot better than my G5N1 landing. I don't know how many of you guys saw that video, but that was crazy. I didn't put the landing gear out very early, so when I went to land, it looked like I was about to crush the gear. We're going to skip ahead and right into the action. Managed to take off without a hitch, and we're right back into that little port city. Still got a couple of tanks to hit. The enemy team, we still haven't managed to find all of their fighters. 2 tanks and an armored car. 2 bombs out. Got the armored car. Perfect, triple strike. Still have 1 more bomb left. Looks like we got a couple more targets here left in the city. Now the Year 2 managed to take off just fine. You can see him right there with me. He's not quite so successful with his bomb dropping, unfortunately. I hate how these armored cars kind of skip around a little bit sometimes. Makes them hard to gauge where they're going to be, because you don't know where the game is going to have them show up. Afterwards, I switch over to gunner view. I try to take out that last little armored car there, but I can't quite seem to figure out where to aim. Just a little off, I suspect. But still got 1 bomb left. Throw this back into a turn. Let's look at this tank and the armored car, if we can. You know, while all this is going on, let me ask you guys, what bomber do you like? Do you like the B-25? Do you like the B-17? Do you not like bombers at all? I know some people never touch a bomber; they just like to use a fighter, and that's certainly fine. I don't judge. And that takes care of those. I'm gonna head on back to base, get some more bombs, because we do still have a couple more tanks to get. There's 1 more here in the little port city, and then we still have a couple over in the hills. They kind of follow a little meandering road back there that I don't think most people even know about. It's funny how all the little roads and bridges that you'll come across when you go ground attacking, Gaijin has put in a lot of little stuff that most fighter pilots will never see, because they're always up at altitude. But if you take out a bomber or a ground attacker of some sort, you find all kinds of little stuff. Here we skip ahead. I already landed, repaired, got new bomb load, the whole works. Little tank up here on the road. Take a shot at him. Pow. Those 500 kilogram bombs are amazing for taking out tanks. Even if you're off with your aim just a little bit, it's still a large enough payload to take out those tanks. And just to keep you up to date as to what's going on in the match, we've managed to find a couple of their guys, and I believe there's only 1 person left, and he's off to my left, out there by that I-185. That's their Norfolk fellow. And right now I'm in a mad dash to get this last couple of tanks, because I know it's just a matter of time before he finishes them off. See, here we go. The plane's been critted. It's only a matter of time before he goes down. What I didn't anticipate is that this tank is not alone. There are multiple tanks, but also there are a lot of armored cars back here. If I had just a little bit more time, I could have made a better run at this. But with time ticking down, I made kind of a rushed attempt here. Dropping a bomb. See a whole bunch of little armored cars. If you had another B-25 with it, you guys could just clean up. Take out a couple there. 19 ground kills in this match, and I was barely even harassed by the enemy fighters. That one guy got a little bit close. He got just within gun range of my back gunner, and that was it. Now it's probably worth noting that you can use 50 cals to take out light tanks. just have to hit them from the back or the side. And with a premium count, I ended up with over 100,000 silver lions. If you take out this premium B-25 for a couple of hours, you could easily clear 1,000,000 silver lions. Once you get up to jets, you're going to go through a lot of silver lions, not only just to buy the plane, but also to skill up the crew members. Having a plane like this is going to be very convenient for you. Anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care guys.